Gen V isn't your typical coming-of-age show. It's a wild ride set in the boys' universe, so you know it's packed with action and comedy. Taking place between the events of Season 3 and the upcoming Season 4, this series introduces us to a group of aspiring teen supes who see the world as black and white with little to no attention to how gray the world really is. Gen V is a wild, obscenely sensational and often disturbing place where superheroes or supes get up to all sorts of nasty business. We're talking hedonism, consensual and non-consensual, murder, racism, you name it, they've done it. There are a few who stand up against the rest, and with Gen V, it's clear that the same depravity we see in Homelander and Butcher has found its way into the prestigious Godolphin University, a superhero institution with a dark history. But this time, it's not just the boys taking the center stage, it's also the girls. While the show follows Marie and Andre taking the lead in the first 3 episodes, we should keep an eye out for Emma Meyers, a size manipulator who's bound to play a more significant role as the series unfolds. In this video, we will explore Emma Meyers, her tragic past, how she activates her powers, what's her future like in the franchise, and most importantly, if she can kill Homelander. So without further ado, let's get hero-gasmic. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
Honey, I've been looking all over for you.
All the leading ladies in the show had some kind of a tragic past. While Emma Meyer did not kill her parents as Marie Moreau did, or did not send her little brother away forever as Kate Dunlap did, Emma still had an extremely troubled childhood, which was kind of on the lines of the childhood that Jordan Lee had. So, Emma was injected with Compound V by her preposterous mother, who saw Emma as nothing but a lottery ticket, even willing to sell her daughter's insecurities and fears for money. And all of this started at an early age. You see, Emma had the power to shrink down to the size of a cricket, and sometimes even smaller than that. In the show, she once shrunk to such a small size that it became difficult for her even to move. But unlike the likes of Ant-Man, Emma could use her powers only by purging or puking. As a child, Emma would be forced or at least coerced and convinced to do that and demonstrate her powers, but a young child would not really know how to do that, right? I mean, to purge when you don't feel like it. So Emma's mother taught her to stick her fingers down her throat to make it happen. Of course, Emma started to feel that her life was nothing more than an investment that her mother made. She was disgusted by it. It only made sense that the girl developed several issues and used an eccentric and funny personality as a defensive or a coping mechanism. How does Emma activate her powers? In one of the standout scenes featuring Emma, things took an unexpected turn during a romantic encounter. Emma discovered that her partner's interest in her went beyond just affection. He was strangely fixated on her ability to shrink to a minuscule size, less than an inch. This unusual fascination led to a rather eyebrow-raising request during her intimate moment. The show didn't shy away from bold and unconventional choices. There were a lot of dong shots, which was totally nuts and ballsy. Little Cricket found herself hanging onto a prosthetic penis while her partner sought confirmation of his size and quite literally asked her to say that his manhood was big. Clearly, someone's ego was smaller than the size of a little cricket, but before she did that, she had to go to the washroom, kneel before a commode, and purge her literal guts out in order to shrink. In yet another scene, she was so disturbed that she shrunk down to the size of ants. He battled them all night long and was exhausted from it. Little Cricket would have died if Marie had not arrived in time. Marie helped her with some much-needed food, which made Emma grow back to her usual size. Emma is the boys' version of Ant-Man and Atom. As far as size manipulation is concerned, we have some really heavy hitters in both DC and Marvel. First up, we've got Scott Lang, also known as Ant-Man. Thanks to some nifty tech from Hank Pym, this guy can shrink down to the size of an ant or shoot up to the size of a house. The crazy part? He keeps all his regular-sized strength and toughness when he goes small, so when he's little, he's like a miniature powerhouse pulling off feats that would make your head spin. And if he gets some momentum going while he's tiny and then pops back to his normal size, well, that's when he is packing some serious punch. Now, over in the DC universe, we've got the Atom. This guy can change his size on the fly. No fancy tech is required, but he did initially use a bio belt made out of matter from a dwarf star. He can also mess with his body mass to deliver some hefty blows, even when he's teeny tiny. And when he decides to go light as a feather, he can glide on a breeze like some kind of superhero hang glider. But that's not all. He can shrink down to subatomic size and zip through landline wires at the speed of electricity. So So whether it's Ant-Man or the Atom, these size manipulators know how to pack a punch, big or small. But the boys have their own version of size shrinkers. We saw one called Termite in the original show, and in Gen V we got Emma Meyer, who is not some crazy nympho like Termite, but she did some really nasty shit to kill a bad guy. In the scene, she goes to rescue Sam, the brother of Golden Boy, but a guard comes in and gives some good old shock therapy to Sam. Knowing full well that escape was not one of the options, Little Cricket gets inside the guard's ear and swims through an ocean of blood and brain to come out of the other, but not before popping the earplug out, which brings me to the next entry. Can she kill Homelander? Well, we know that Homelander has a skin tougher than most objects, right? I mean, the troubles that the boys went through in the first season to make that one bullet was a testament of how difficult killing Homelander really is. Now, the leading ladies in Gen V have all shown powers that might just be enough to take down Homelander himself. You say how? Well, with her empath and psychic control abilities, Kate could simply ask Homelander to find a way and kill himself. Marie may not be able to punch Homelander into bleeding, but others like Queen Maeve or a Compound V-induced Butcher may have Homelander bleed, which is when Marie could take over. But what about Emma Meyer? Do you remember the episode from season 3 of The Boys with Termite and his boyfriend? Well, Termite shrunk down to his termite size and dived right inside his boyfriend's behind. But all the cocaine that he had previously done was making him sneeze uncontrollably, which could not be good when you get inside your boyfriend's back room. So while he was still inside, Termite sneezed again and involuntarily got back to his full size, exploding the poor man from inside out. Our friend Emma could pull off something like that, maybe not come back to her full size because that takes her some time and a lot of food. However, she could swim through Homelander's insides, wrecking him from within. Just saying. What's going to be her future in the franchise? In the climax of Gen V's 3rd episode, we see Emma fighting herself drenched in blood and standing up to the bad guys. But she wishes that she wasn't doing that. Nevertheless, I can say for sure that Emma is safe and well. The 30-second trailer for episode 4 has Emma back, so of course she was not caught or killed. Furthermore, it seems that Sam, Golden Boy's brother, has also managed to escape captivity and is hunting the evil staff members who tortured him. Additionally, Emma's tiny shoes were found on the scene where she killed a guard. It's safe to say that this will definitely have some serious repercussions for her and her friends in future episodes of Gen V. Of course, Sage Grove Sanitarium, the madhouse for rogue soups, will play an important role in the events that would unfold, but the important question is if we would still get to see the boys coming into the fold. Marvelous verdict. Gen V is a standout spin-off that doesn't rely on the boys' cameos to hold its own. While it tosses in a fair share of Easter eggs, it's got its own vibe going. The whole setup at Godolphin School feels pretty organic with different departments and gladiator-style arenas that draws crowds like a Quidditch match or a football game. What's got us hooked is the competitive ranking system between classes, basically a fast track to the 7. It cranks up the stakes and keeps us rooting for our faves, especially since Gen V runs alongside the boys' Season 4. In this world, being a hero isn't about doing what's right. It's about juggling your identity while amassing enough power to do whatever the heck you want, as long as your approval ratings are good. But challenging the system, that's a tall order even for these young heroes. They're not the first to take a swing at Vought International, but they might just be the first to land a solid punch, especially if they team up with the boys. Still, their hearts are in the right place, even if the system's trying to turn them into shiny puppets. Gen V has this killer mix of contemporary teen comedy, the boys' ruthless humor, and some seriously jaw-dropping moments. The first 3 episodes are a wild ride, expertly crafted. The show digs deep into the lives of the Godolphin students, and they didn't exactly have a say in the whole superhero thing. It's all about their messy lives defining heroism, which is pretty darn cool. The show takes on big themes like the power of social media in these superpowered kids' lives, and heavy stuff like race and class privilege. It doesn't shy away from contemporary issues either, like Jordan's non-binary transformation or Emma's self-destructive power, and you can't escape the internet's influence with all its sexualization and social pressures. It's got its fair share of violence, but underneath it all, there's some smart storytelling going on. Right now, we're missing a bit of character development, but Marie and Emma are breaking out of their typical hero molds. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.